as you actually see, from the slide, this is essentially what job architecture is all about. And if I have to maybe put this in words, if I have to kind of translate what you see on the slide into words, job architecture essentially is about the hierarchy of jobs within your organization. Now, when I say hierarchy of jobs, there are a few things that job architecture encompasses. That is, it has the levels, titling, grades, career paths, uh, uh, maybe even aspects like groups or the clusters of the job family function. All of these elements put together along with the hierarchy uh, is in a way called as a job architecture. So job architecture is, I would say, broadly hierarchy slash network of jobs and various sub attributes of job architecture would be your grades, your job families, your subfamilies, or how do you cluster or groups your jobs, and even aspects like uh, aspects like um, I would say career paths or job types. All of them would kind of uh, encompasses the way your job architecture would kind of entail in the context of an organization. And what I typically mean by job type is every organization may also classify employee categories into full-time employees or fixed term contract, or you may have certain other contractual model like third party contracts, or even aspects like you may have independent advisors. So all these kind of cluster together in uh, delivering business outcomes for you, and that's essentially what a job architect is all about. So maybe if I kind of drill a bit deeper and kind of look at the example that you see right on the screen. So this is imagine this is a maybe a retail store or a hypermarket chain, maybe like a Carrefour or a or maybe uh, what else do I, or like a Walmart, or like maybe in the Middle East we have chains like the Lulu Group, or in India we have chains like D-Mart, right? So let's look at maybe any such retail store, or maybe a hypermarket as it's also very commonly known, right? So the first uh, the column that you see on the left side, these are the roles, typical roles. Obviously, we're not trying to capture all roles, but typical roles that you see in such a retail store, right? Cashiers, stock clerks, customer service roles, store manager, HR in the store, financial controller or accountant in the store, operations specialist, right? Now, this is how you kind of look at individual roles. Now you obviously can cluster, or I would say not group these roles into say job families or functions or departments, how you call. Maybe you can put your enabling roles like HR in one, finance in one, operations in one. You can keep your customer service roles in the other. You can keep your manager roles in the other. And maybe even you can cluster it by saying roles which basically drive store operations, then roles which basically enable or support store operations, right? So now your HR, finance, etc. can be support operations. Your customer service roles or uh, roles like maybe store manager, etc. would be roles which drive your operations, right? So that's one way of looking at it. Now you can also kind of, in the context of these organizations, you can even group them under retail kind of roles versus maybe corporate kind of roles. So roles which are there in the retail outlets and roles which are there in your corporate functions for such an organization. Now you can flavor or add on aspects to these roles like different grades slash levels. What are the different career paths every role or role holder or incumbent can take, right? And again, obviously job type we kind of discussed, whether it's a permanent role or a contractual role. All of these can maybe kind of overlay or be part of this, which kind of encompasses the entire job architecture. So this is like a real-time illustration of how job architecture kind of works in the context of a retail store.